ゆい先生。
Yeah. Welcome back to Kompati. We are at the Yui's apartment, where Satoshi has like barged himself in. I tried calling her name one last time, but as expected, there was no answer.
本当にどうしようかな。
Yeah, what will you do? I was trying hard to avoid being too nosy, but my eyes inevitably began surveying the room. The apartment entrance led up immediately into the kitchen, and beyond that there was a sliding door to some other room. I could see light through the gaps. Then open it! I strained my ears, but there was nothing to hear, no signs of life whatsoever. Miss Yui really must have been out. One more time I tried calling out to her one more time, just to put my concerns to ease. I felt like I've seemed even more suspicious if I stayed silent.
ゆい先生、持田です。
Still nothing. Maybe he was asleep on the other side of that door. Yes, perfect excuse to go even deeper.
込めてる？いや。
We have to go deeper. Shaking my head furiously, I cast out that sudden impulse. That was a terrible idea, pure and simple. Okay, leave. Entering the apartment unannounced wasn't bad enough. Walking all the way in, opening that sliding door and peeking inside, that was just too much. You could just leave, you know.
このタイミングでゆい先生が外から帰ってきたりしたら、俺。
Stop standing there like an idiot and leave. Put a note or something saying you've been there.
じゃなくて、だいぶまずい。
Monet mewed, as if in agreement. Panicking, I once again surveyed my surroundings. I almost felt like there were eyes on me, staring with disdain. But of course, nobody was there. Obviously.
あ、そうだ。書き置きを残していけばいいんだ。
Takes my advice. Leave a note saying you were here. Wondering why I didn't think of this sooner. I dug into my bag for some paper and pen. Because you're an idiot, Satoshi. Even I could have thought of
山
that.
崎先生から頼まれたのでって書いておけばいいんだよね。
Should have left by Satoshi.
俺のノート
Or
でいいや。
from...
ゆい先生
Crouching in the doorway, I ran my pen across the page. I brought class notes at Mr. Yamazaki's behest. Everyone has been worried about you. Sorry about barging into your apartment.
あと、不用心だから、鍵はかけた方がいいと思いますと。ん？
As I was writing the note, I sensed a presence in front of me. Until just a moment ago, this house had no signs of human life in it, but now I could feel someone standing directly ahead. Standing and looking down at me. Fidgeting nervously, I put down my pen, raised my head slowly. I saw a white, slender ankle. How is that scary? Shocked, I shot my head up there. Standing before me was Miss Yui. How was that scary? How could you be scared of this?
先生。
It's cute in some way. She was looking right at me, but she seemed decidedly out of sorts. Her hair looked disheveled. Her gaze was unsteady, and her pajamas was in complete disarray. She was like a completely different person from the usual Kempt educator we'd come to know and love.
ゆい先生、俺勝手に入っちゃって。
I stood up frantically and held out the note I'd been writing, but Miss Yui was just standing there, stupefied with a completely vacant expression on her face.
先生。
I called out to her as gently as I could, but she was really dazed. She seemed almost like a ghost.
先生、どうしちゃったんだよ。
I had a sudden uneasy feeling. Worried, I walked up to Miss Yui, grabbed her shoulders, and tried to snap her out of it by shaking her. But instead, she's still extremely sick. Just that seems to make her cough.
先生
There were wet, productive coughs, and spit was shooting out of Miss Yui's mouth with each one. I frantically tried to shield my face from the spray, but my reaction time wasn't quick enough. I put a hand to her cheeks and found it thick with slimy film of saliva.
大丈夫ゆい先生
Miss Yui hobbled back a little, then fell to her knees with a thud. She had completely sprawled out the hallway, moaning and groaning the whole time. Moaning and groaning the whole
先
time.
生
Look at that panda. Wiping the spattering of... Look at that panda pajamas. Well, back to happy music. It was bright red, strained breathing and stuffy nose and a visibly high fever on top of it all. She was sick as could be. Then why did you get out then?
寒いのでも汗かいてるよ
Maybe you should take a... No.
寒い
I thought maybe her sweat had cooled her down, but then realized her disheveled pajamas certainly weren't doing her any favors. With her heart pounding a mile a minute, her face red, and as a traffic light, I set about buttoning her up.
ゆい先生俺のことわかる持田だよ寒いならちゃんと布団で寝ないと出ないと治るもんも治らないって
She absent-mindedly extended her shaking arms like a zombie, slowly reopened her eyes and looked up at me. It was the gaze of a severely fevered mind.
ゆい先生
司くん
Wrong person.
えうわ
Isn't this typical?
司くん
Tsukasa? The typical situation!
え
Miss Yui was clinging to me tightly. Well, isn't this... I couldn't move. I was frozen in shock. She began to weep.
来てくれたのね司くん
Tsukasa?
つかさ
嬉しいよかった
先生待って人違いだよ
It seemed like I wasn't getting through to her at all. And the sensation of her chest as she held me was making it virtually impossible to fight her grip. Oh, come on! I was utterly powerless against this opponent. I never realized before just how soft a woman's chest really was. Don't make up excuses so I can feel that more. God, am I that weak-willed? I had to remind myself that Miss Yui had me confused with someone else. Yes, you are! Yes, you are weak-willed! Mustering all the strength I could, I gripped her arms and tried to pry them off of me. But she was a lot stronger than I anticipated. I could... Even more excuses!
怖かったよ司くん怖かったわ
怖かった
まさか来てくれるなんて思わなかった
うわ
As she squeezed me tightly, I felt as though my upper body might collapse under the pressure of her softest part. I was blushing uncontrollably.
ゆい先生ちょっと離れて
Who is this
先
Tsukasa?
生ってば
I struggled to wriggle free, but Miss Yui only grabbed me tighter. Our bodies were getting more and more intertwined. And every time I screamed, Miss Yui would just pull me in even closer.
司くん
うわ
As her chest rose and fell erratically, droplets of sweat slid down into her cleavage. I could feel the heat of her fever radiating off her steadily encroaching face, as well as the shoulders I grabbed in an effort to push away.
そばにいて、スカタくん。お願い。
Sukakasa?
だから人違い。
Questions were swirling around in my head. Why was Miss Yui crying? And who was this Tsukasa person? But I was most concerned for the state of her pajamas, which had become even more disheveled during our struggle.
先生、パジャマ、ズボンずり落ちてるから。
スカサくん、あったかい。
ゆい先生ってば
Realizing that not a single word was getting through to her, I sighed resignedly. I've taken care of Yuka any number of times when she caught a cold and drawn a fever, but I don't recall it ever getting this bad. Miss Yui was usually calm, collected, and rational. Who would have ever imagined that fever could leave her so thoroughly discombobulated? Discombobulated. Bo?
ゆい先生、ちょっと、もう
I put more strength into my resistance, and finally her arms relaxed just the tiniest bit. But her expression changed drastically.
やだ。
先生、俺は持田聡で、司って人じゃ。
行かないで。やだ。
Miss Yui was acting like a spoiled child, stepping out of the shoes I'd still been wearing. I again drew close to her sprawled out form. There was no way I could just leave her here like this.
後で気がついて、怪しまないでくれよ。
Miss Yui let her groan, perhaps in response to my quiet murmurings. At my wit's end, I grabbed hold of her and did my best to carry her into the back room. Gently wheeling her over an unfurled futon, I then carefully laid her down, making sure I didn't drop her in the process. Then there was a matter of rebuttoning those pesky pajamas again. I hesitantly pulled up her pajama bottoms and brushed away the stray hairs that was plastered to her brow with sweat. I'd done my best to avoid seeing anything I shouldn't, but I am a guy, so my heart was pounding the whole time. Miss Yui's pajamas were soaked through with sweat. She really might have been better off with a change of clothes altogether, but no, that would have been going way too far.
タオルとか何か拭くものでもあれば。
The bathroom? Noticing a convenience store bag carelessly tossed to the floor, I glanced inside.
なんだ、冷却シート買ってきてあるじゃん。
Oh.
なんで使ってないんだか。先生、ヒヤッとするけど我慢してね。これでよしと。
I pressed one of the compressors on her forehead and pulled the covers over her. Aw, it's cute. The sick teacher. Miss Yuri appeared almost instantly relieved. She exhaled contentedly and her breathing became more relaxed. Finally, she was asleep. She's acting like a child. It's cute. Even in sleep, Miss Yuri seems to be suffering.
モネ、なんだ先生が心配か
Money.
だよな。俺もここまでひどいことになってるとは思わなかったよ。
Monet had coiled up on my legs without me noticing. I began absent-mindedly speaking to him. He mewed in response, and our conversation ended there, as my gaze was still fixed squarely on Miss Yui.
さて、どうしようか。ゆい先生。俺、このまま帰っても大丈夫？
Take that as a no. She wasn't in any condition to respond. But
ゆい先生。
Miss Yui's hand had slipped out from under the futon and was gently grasping my pants leg. 'Her grip was much weaker than before, but I knew I'd probably regret it if I went home now. Miss Yui just seemed really lonely.
仕方ないな。
Without disturbing Miss Yui's hold on me, I took a seat beside her. For the time being, I figured I'd watch over her and make sure her condition didn't worsen. Occasionally, Miss Yui's breathing would become ragged and she'd furrow her brow. She was in a pretty bad way.
辛そうだな。
Wasn't there anything else I could do? I glanced quietly down the hallway. I'd noticed when I carried Miss Yui here that the kitchen near the entranceway was perfectly neat and tidy. There wasn't any indication it had been used that day at all.
飯食ってるのかな。
Money's gaze shifted suddenly. I followed it and saw pit bowls laid out in the corner of the room. One dish was filled to the brim with water and the other was piled high with dry cat food.
なるほど。モネはちゃんと食べてるんだな。熱出してあんな状態になってても、お前のことはちゃんと考えてくれてるんだな。でもさ、ゆい先生、まずは自分の食事の心配をしようよ。
Oh man, does this whole video just gonna be this? I shook my head at the whole situation, then glanced down at Monet, who was tilting his head as if trying to understand me. I broke into a wry smile. When I pulled out the coal packs, I did notice some cheap convenience store food in the bag as well. I guess that was going to be her food for the day. Not exactly the best stuff to eat when you're sick.
米と、あと卵くらいはきっとある
Hey,
よな。
rice and eggs are good.
卵がゆでも作ろう。先生、キッチン借りるよ。
I take that as a yes. Her face was bright red and her half-pained, half-content noises provided me with no clear-cut answer to my question.
仕方ない。ゆい先生の代わりに、モネに許しをもらおうかな。モネ、キッチンを借りていいか？ありがとう。
I'll take that as a yes. Monet's cries helped assuage my guilt over entering a woman's apartment and borrowing her kitchen. Not that I had any reason to feel guilty. I don't think. Anyway, I mean, circumstances were what they were. Still, I had this nagging sense that I should have somehow felt bad about what I was doing.
ゆい先生、ごめんな。ちょっと離れるよ。
One by one, I gently peeled off each of the fingers latched onto my pant leg. The expression of her face changed as I was doing so, from contented rest to mild annoyance, but there was nothing to indicate that she might wake up.
よし、作るか。
As I stood up, Mune mewed happily and began tagging along at my heels. Miss Yu, now resting by herself in the bedroom, let out a sudden sneeze. Are we done? That prologue. That was a long prologue. Into episode 3. Ah, we still... Oh.
ちょっとゆい
かかったよ今くしゃみ。
ごめんごめん、なんだか鼻がムズムズするの。
The day she got sick?
まったくもう。ティッシュティッシュ、あれどこやったっけ？
ああ、なければ私の使ってよ。せめてものお詫び。やった。じゃあ私使う。
私も持ってないよ。ティッシュちょうだい。
はい。
サンキュー。あんたたちね、ティッシュくらい常備しときなさいよ。
面目ない。
まったく。
それで何の話だっけ？
そうそう。だからさ、とうとう3年になっちゃったよねって話。
ああ、だね。あと1年で卒
Are we gonna play as Yui?
卒業もだけど、私たちそれよりもっと考えなくちゃいけないことがあるじゃない？
That was quite random timing.
進路よ。いやー、聞きたくない。正直さ、進路相談何回受けたって将来のことなんかはっきりしないっていうかさ。
だよね。どうするかな、ほんと。
ねえ、ゆいはもう進路とか決めてる？
実はね、もう決めてるんだ。
Huh?
なにゆい、何になりたいの？
私はね、私の名前は宍戸ゆい、
Oh,
17歳。
we're going back to the
将来の
past.
夢は
We gotta
先
learn
生
more
に
of
な
ya,
ること。
Yui
あま
sensei.
りよく考えずに人のことに首を突っ込んでは空回ってることが多い私だけど、でもそんな私でもきっと頑張れば夢が叶うって信じてる。
Kisaragi Academy, 5 years ago. Wait! She's 17 now. So she's a teacher by the age of 22? Damn, that's young! I was a high school senior now, and was devoting myself to my studies in preparation for the day my dream could become reality. And that dream was to become an English teacher. My grades were on the fence for getting into the university I wanted though. So my best bet was to score a special recommendation from the academy.
ああ、よかった。急に呼び出されたから何事かと思ったよ。
Okay. So that's the whole video was just like Satoshi taking care of Yui Sensei, but I'm gonna end this part here. Not much of the gory, but more of the story. Hey, that rhymes. I'm gonna leave you guys with a high five. Maybe the store's open. It's probably here. Oh, I fucking knew. It's not. What the fuck is that?